all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Coming at you again, your man Sir-Earl. The subject I want to do today. Today is Saturday, July 5th, 6th, something like that. I'm doing this on Saturday because basically it's my podcast and I don't want to do it on Sunday. So I had a lot of things going through my head now. So I figured I'd work on those things now and get them out the way. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today is the idea of sacrifice, hence the song. We live in a day and age now that no one wants to sacrifice. You have people who, instead of working hard to make $1 million, they'd rather play the lottery with the hope and expectations of winning that type of money. You could probably stand a better chance, even though there's a high failure rate for entrepreneurs, which is everybody wants to be one now. You stand a better chance in making it than the luck of hitting it. And the one thing that people don't understand when you don't make the sacrifices, and that's with finance, that's with life, that's with your fitness goals, that's with anything. When you don't make the sacrifice, the lessons that comes with learning those lessons are never learned. That's why people that get a lot of money, all of a sudden, they spend it as quick as they get it is as quick as they spend it. You won't find that with an individual that has grinded and sacrificed their whole life to make the money, because each dollar is attached to some type of memory, some type of day they didn't want to go to work, some type of day they didn't want to get up. And they know where each individual revenue comes from, and that there's work and memories and all those things attached to it. So therefore, it took them a long time to grind and make it, so that it's going to take them a long time to lose it because it has an attachment to it. When you see people, and I see this a lot in my profession, that goes through weight loss surgeries, the reason that generally they gain all the weight and then some back is that there was no effort taken to lose it. They lay it on the table, they cut them open, they liposuck, they lap band or whatever. Everybody feels what took them 5 years, what took this person 10 years to do, I should be able to do this in 2 years. Hence the new phrases that I see on Instagram and Facebook are 19-year-old life coaches. What the hell you know about life after 19 years that you could be a coach, that you can help somebody? You've not been through anything. And there's a saying that, it takes 19 years to become 19. You can't do it in 17 years. But people, they lay down, they get the surgery, but the habits that created them being overweight, they never change those. So they think, well, I'm going to get it off and then I'm going to change my habits. I've yet to see it happen. There's a 100% rate of them still doing the same things that got them there. Whereas if you work hard and you make the changes and you lose the weight, which you always wind up looking better because you don't have the loose skin, you remember the effort that it took to achieve those goals, and it's less likely you're going to repeat it. You see one of the problems with younger kids having kids. They don't want to sacrifice their life. I mean, they're 19, 20 years old. They still want to go out and party and have a nice time and things like that. The only thing is, you already had a child. You thought it was a joke, but now you want to dump the child on anybody who will watch them while you go out and live your life. Well, the sacrifice once you have kids is that your life is no longer yours, it's theirs. Everything surrounds around them. And so when you see these kids that have no respect or anything from each other for authority figures or adults or anything like that, chances are they had a parent that was so busy thinking about themselves that they did not put that time and effort and energy into those kids. Kids grow every day. And if you're busy thinking about you. Next thing you know, you look up, those kids are, adults, and they've yet to learn the lessons because you've yet to spend the time with them. So anything that you choose to want to try to accomplish like I say, in finance, in life, in children, whatever it might be, it's going to take a sacrifice. Um, it, you have to give up now for what could be later. And that's just like saying, well, you give me $1 million, then I'll be a millionaire. Well, the problem with that is there's a lot of energy and time and effort that goes into accumulating $1 million. And all those lessons that you learn to accumulate it, you don't get those lessons by someone just giving it to you. And everybody wants to believe, well, just give it to me and then I'll learn it then, just like with the weight loss surgery. Let me lose the weight, then I'll learn the habits. It does not work that way. You must have the habits first. You must pay the sacrifice first, and then those things will come, and then they'll be so much more significant. But we live in a society because everything is quick, microwave, and you know, channels and internet and all these things they come so fast that kids have yet to learn that millennials that there's a wait, there's a process of learning before those things come. I hire people and or interview people, and they want the CEO job right away. They feel they're deserving of being at the top right away. I don't have to pay no dues. You did that, and that's old school, and that's all fine and dandy, but that's one of the reasons that so many kids today that graduate can't find a job because they don't have the work ethic to back it up. A degree is one thing; it's great. Don't get me wrong; those things are great. But when they put you on a job and you lack the work ethic to get it done, because you felt this degree would give you the upper hand, at the end of the day, when you go to work, you still got to work. And if you have no work ethic, if that was not taught to you at a young age by parents that gave you chores and held you accountable to things and made you make sacrifices. Okay, you've got $1. Do you want to get this or you want to get that? Parents nowadays, it's easier to give you $5 and let you get everything you want than it is to teach a lesson. It's not so much about the importance of that dollar. It's about the importance of the lesson that you learn, and there must be some sacrifice. If you really want that, we can get that later on your next allowance. But for right now, this is all you got. You have to decide what you're willing to live without until the next time you can get it. In the world of bodybuilding, I see the same thing. It's a lot of top-notch bodybuilders, they've been training 20, 30 years, but you read the stories and hear the things of, these guys are taking drugs, and you get all these new steroids, and you get all these kids that come in, and instead of 30 years of hard work, sacrifice, training every day, joints hurting, back hurting, legs hurting, instead of that, if I get some steroids, I could be a pro in 3 years. It doesn't work that way. It was the reason it took them 30 years to get to the top of where they are. Everything requires sacrifice. Everything good requires sacrifice, and it takes time. Like I said, you can't be 19 in 17 years, no matter how hard you try. So we have to learn that nothing is immediate. Everything that we try to do, whether it be work, whether it be fitness, whether it be money, or whatever, we have to learn that it's not an instant gratification thing, and that's what a lot of this society lives on today, is that they want everything now. No one has learned, or no one chooses to want to learn, sacrifice. And I think that the huge reason behind that is that they weren't taught that at a young age. Kids, you know, young people only know what we teach them. So when I'm looking at adults who would rather drink every night, eat shit, eat junk, and so, well, I'm gonna just get a lap band surgery. Well, I mean, your habits are not gonna change. I can't even count. If I had $1 for every time I've seen these things fail and become dangerous, and they bust staples and bands and things like that, and internal bleeding. If I had $1 for every time that happened, I'd be rich. I wouldn't have to work because the person chose to not want to make the sacrifice. So whenever I see, and I'm not just a typical physical type person, although I do work out, or this is my profession. When you see a person that is overweight and they are refusing, and we talk to people and we say, hey, you're going to have to follow this diet plan. I can't do that. You've not even tried it. You've not even left the office and you're already saying what you can't do. We will always do what we want to do. So if eating steak and shake every other day is your vice, you're going to do that. And what you're going to do, and I've seen it a million times, I'll say it again, they will give up all the things that are good. I'll give up all carbs and I won't eat no meat and I'll be a vegan and I'll be this and I'll be that. But they won't give up the alcohol that they like. They won't give up the sweets that they like. They won't make the sacrifice of the things that they like, but they will easily get rid of all the things and justify it in their head that they're going to get rid of all the things that except the one thing that will make the biggest difference in their life. They're not going to sacrifice. As a bodybuilder, which is 99%, I'm not saying that they're the greatest role models in the world. I know a lot of them that are jackasses, but we have learned to make sacrifice. It's like no one likes eating dry chicken breast every day, but it's a sacrifice. It's what I need to do to be where I want to be on the date that I need to look this way. So me personally, instead of dried chicken breast, I would definitely like Harold's. Something with some taste to it. But eating Harold's will never make you into who you want to be as a champion. So the lessons that we learn early on as competitors, and it's things that we take upon ourselves, because there are a lot of competitors that don't adhere to it, and that is goal setting, discipline, and sacrifice. You give up what you love for now to want it later. I've had people that have came to me and asked business advice. And these people had more money than me. They had more degrees than me. And guess what? They were out of business much faster than me. I've been doing this for 28 years, and I can honestly say I've had a lot of people ask me for advice. And the one thing, when they're out partying, I'm working. When they're spending time with their kids, I'm working. The sacrifices that I've made for our business are enormous. You'd be very hard pressed to understand just how much I have given up for this dream. My house has been in foreclosure. I've been evicted from places. I've had utilities turned off. I've had relationships ended because I am so dedicated and I make the sacrifice to my dream. And I'm not saying that everybody needs to be like that. I'm saying I'm like that. And I'm saying the majority of the people that I know that have moved on to success, and success is what you label it to be. If you want to give an 80% effort and live day to day and pay your bills on time and do all the other stuff, great. I have nothing but applause for you. I want much more out of this dream. I want to be the greatest that ever did this. And that's why I make the sacrifices. That's why on holiday, the 4th of July, people are out popping fireworks and eating. I'm working. There's always something to do. I can work 24/7. So people will ask me, and I will tell them, well, you got to work hard. You got to dedicate yourself. You got to do this and you got to do that. And they go, oh, I'm ready for that. But, a Mike Tyson punch to the face don't look hard until it's hitting you in the face. And oh well, you know, a little time off do people real good. A vacation here, a vacation there. Well, here's the thing: if you're trying to become number one and you're on vacation, somebody like me is working, and you can't give up 5 days and come back and expect to be even with me, because you're gonna do your 5 day vacation. You're gonna do another day here, another day there. At the end of the year, you fucked off, a lot of days while I was just getting ahead. And I'm not unique in that sense. There's a lot of people who work very, very, very hard. So my message to people today is that if you want what you want to go after, you have to make the sacrifice of giving up the things that you love now. If you don't want to make the sacrifice, stop lying to yourself and saying you do want to make it. If you want to be fat and you want to eat fattening food, just accept the reality that you want to be fat. Don't tell everybody you want to lose weight because you're not doing those things. You can't do wrong and expect it to turn out right. It does not work that way. So the message of this podcast today is, you got to make the sacrifices, and they'll be worth it in the end. Trust me. All right. So as I said before, you know, keep your goals in front of you, and make your sacrifices and do the things that it takes to be where you want to be, no matter what that might be. It don't have to be my dream; it's your dream. All right. This is your boy Sir-Earl checking out. Peace.
That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life.